From a college dropout to a mortgage expert, our speaker tonight has been in the real estate finance business for nearly 20 years, managing offices in both Minnesota and Florida. His motivational testament of the Do the Dishes showcases his upbringing in Fridley, where his parents still live today, and where his father is still the mayor. And opening his first mortgage company with a handful of friends, Josh's Do the Dishes is simple but timeless. You'll laugh along with being inspired to seek out your own successes and challenges. Please give a big, warm, inspirational welcome to Josh Lund, everybody!
Thank you, thank you. Great crowd, thank you. All right, here we go. Let me grab my pointer, sorry. All right, so do the dishes. Let's get going right away, right? All right, so who's Josh Lund, right? Here we go. Lund boats. Who here in Minnesota has heard of a Lund boat or been on a Lund boat or maybe even owned a Lund? Right, the entire room, right? Exactly, right? So Howard Lund, Grandpa Howard Lund, right? Grandpa, he built his first boat by hand, right? In 1948, absolutely, right? Opened up the actual company in 1961 right here in Minnesota, up north, way up in New York Mills, right? It's someone's grandpa. It's not my grandpa, right? Right? Not my grandpa, right? So I probably wouldn't be here if Grandpa Lund was my grandpa. So here we go. So anyways, but the truth, anytime you see a boat from now on, you'll know that you'll remember Josh, right? You'll never forget my name, right? But here's where the truth test, here's where it really gets good, right? This is the true story, right? Uncle Russell, 1939, opened his first Lund grocery store right in Minneapolis. Honestly, 3 blocks from here, 3 blocks. Long time ago, 80 years ago, right? Don Byerly, no correlation to me whatsoever, but Byerly's opened his store, his Golden Valley store, still open to this day, right on Highway 100, right? You guys probably drive by it all the time, right? Lund's and Byerly's merged together about 22 years ago, right? My uncle, Russell Lund, is not my uncle, Russell Lund, no relation whatsoever. So whenever you go buy your groceries, you'll remember. So this is the way you guys will always remember. Hey, remember that crazy guy that spoke to us? We'll never forget his name. Exactly. All right, here we go. Let's get to the real start. So this is me, the actual footage of me doing the dishes in 1985. 7 years old. There's Josh. Now you guys do the numbers, do the math. You know how old I am, right? That's me doing the dishes at my house in 1985, right? What does this have to do with anything, right? Doing the dishes, I started out my passion. I knew that I had to do something in my household, right? And my household was very demanding. My parents are here right now. And it was a very demanding household, right? So do the dishes, Josh. You have to do the dishes. Was I good at doing the dishes, Mom or Dad? No, I was not. Here's actual footage of me now. This is an actual photo. I'm in the middle there, okay? This is taken about 2 o'clock in the afternoon at college, right? You see me right down at Anoka Ramsey Community College. This is where I went to school, right? So that's me in the middle. Obviously, it's not really, but somebody like Josh, right? So this is at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You get to stick with me on this. Stick with me. 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's me during a math test. I'm not in class, obviously, right? So 6 weeks at least, right? $842 of my parents' money down the drain, right? 6 weeks, didn't last very long, and I left school, right? So this is where it gets good, though. I was dating a girl that I met at Anoka. So this is the only thing that's got to correlate right together. I was dating a girl that I met in 6 weeks there. I started dating a girl at Anoka Ramsey Community College, right? And she said, hey, my brother, because I was looking for a job. Hey, my brother, he sells cars. You should sell cars. You'd be good at it. Yeah, you're personable. People like you. You'd be good at it. You know what I know about cars? Nothing. I don't even know what a spark plug does, right? And so I talked to the brother. The brother says, hey, you know what? You'd be great at car sales. You'd be absolutely great at car sales, right? So here we are to this day, right? This is where it all began, car sales, right? So 2 weeks after I talked to the brother, I started selling cars, right? Started selling cars, and within a week, it took me to sell my first car, right? Didn't know what I was doing at all. Someone would come in and say, someone know-it-all would come in and say, hey, you know what the drivetrain is on that 67 Mustang? No, I don't. If you want to know what it is, the service guy in back will probably tell you what the heck that means, but I do not know what that means. I know the price is $313,000. I know that, But anyways, long story short is, this is where it all started for me, right, in selling cars. So I'm 20 years old. I don't know anything about anything. This is where it all started for me, right? I got to know people skills. I got to know my passion. My true passion was people, right? Like, that's my true passion. And selling cars was great for that. About 3 years of car sales. And what happened was I sell a car to a guy, and he writes down on his application, his credit application, he writes down that he makes $50,000 a month, right? And this is in 2001, right? This is 18 years ago. He writes down he's making, and I said, no, sir, come on, please. I need to know your monthly income, not your yearly income. And he says, no, that is what I make a month. And I say, get out of here. You can make that kind of money doing mortgages? He's in the real estate business, mortgage business? He said, absolutely. I've been doing this for 16 years, and I make this kind of money all the time. And so 2 weeks later, guess what I was doing? Mortgages. So that's where it all began. So car sales was a big deal for me. That was a big turning point in my life. It's where I learned how to become passionate about people, passionate about follow-up, passionate about hardcore sales, face-to-face, actual sales, right? This is where it meant a lot to me. And car sales was where it all started, right? It got 2 weeks later, like we talked about, that's where I got into the mortgage business. Mortgage business was very popular for me and very good for me because of the fact that I took my car sales experience and my follow-up experience and all of my knowledge of sales into the mortgage business, right? So it started in 2001, 2002 is when I started my mortgage career, slowly worked my way up to, and I worked for the guy that was making $50,000 a month, right? And now, fast forward 6 years later, 2006, 2007, I ended up buying his company out, and he got out of the business, right? So that's how the tables turned. He got me into the business. He got out of the business. I took over his clients and his book of business just 6 or 7 years later. Business was good. The overall reason why I'm telling you this entire story is because of the passion that I have for all of my stuff, right? So doing the dishes, right? It started with doing the dishes. Doing the dishes means very simple. It was my first actual career. If we back up a little bit, was when I was 15, I took a job at a very fancy restaurant, very fancy supper club in downtown Fridley, Minnesota. And I was the dishwasher, right? That's where it all started, right? Not only was it when I was 7 years old on that slide we had, but I also was the actual dishwasher for a supper club, right? And my passion for that was never doing the dishes, of course. I learned something that I hated, right? But I was good at it. I had passion for it. I'd clean the dishes. And what I liked about all that was that people wanted me, because I was so good at cleaning the dishes, they wanted me to continue to show up every day. Hey, can you film me? Hey, can you work tonight? Hey, can you work tonight? Hey, can you work tonight? Because I was such a good dishwasher. You know what I mean? Ingrained when I was 7 years old from my parents, right? But like they said, to this day, I'm not a good dishwasher at all. But anyways, so bottom line is, that's where it all started. That's where do the dishes started, right? And then I went to, went to the car business, then went to the mortgage business, and this is where I am to this day. So fast forward to today's date. I own a mortgage company downtown. I own a mortgage company down in Florida. I have a real estate company, and ready for this, a super fancy real estate company here in Minneapolis. Super fancy. It took me a very long time to come up with this name, Lund Realty, right? Super easy, right? So now you guys, I've gotten instilled Lund into your brain many, many times over, right? All right, so there's a reason why we have to be doing this, right? There's a reason why. There's a reason. Here's my companies that I'm associated with, Lund Realty. Lund Financial Group is another investment arm. It's a real estate arm. It's my property management division, right? Sterling Title is a title company that's here based out of the Twin Cities as well, just a title company for residential real estate. And then Gold Star Mortgage is the mortgage division, right? So what's your why? Right? What's your why? What's the reason why you get up every morning, right? So I've got two boys. There's not four boys there. There's two different boys. We have little Easton right here with the fish, and then Corbin on the right. And there's them two at a wedding a couple years ago. But what's your why? That's your overall purpose, right? What's your why? Why do you get up every day, right? And even I don't care if you do real estate. I don't care if you sell insurance. I don't care if you paint houses for a living, right? What's your why? You're one step away and one decision away from changing your life massively, right? So if you're not happy where you are, if you have no passion in what you're doing, if you're not successful with what you're doing, right? You're one decision away, like me, right? And I knew that I was doing the dishes at that fancy supper club. This wasn't going to be my life. Absolutely not. Just when I was selling cars, I knew that selling cars was not going to be my life. I took what I got out of it. I was passionate about when I was doing it, and I knew that I was leaving very soon. And then all of a sudden, somebody showed up and said, you know what? You can make 50 grand a month. And I said, really? 2 weeks later, 50 grand a month. I didn't make 50 grand a month 2 weeks later, but I'm saying that's where I wanted to be. That's where I wanted to be, right? So anyway, so there's my two boys, Corbin and Easton. They love Dad. Dad doesn't really like to fish, but Dad pretends to fish really well, right? So in front of the boys, of course, I got to be, you know, like tough dad, like, yeah, I can put a leech on the hook. Watch. But does Dad like to do that? No, he does not. But anyways, so I appreciate everyone's time. This is a very, very fast moving, because Travis said you got 15, you got maybe 16 minutes to move through this, all of this, right? So the overall synopsis and reason why I'm telling you guys this, have passion in what you do. You're one step away, always, or one decision away from getting to the next level. If you don't want to, if you're not happy with where you're at, you're one choice away, right? So just remember to always do the dishes and don't forget the Lund brand, right? Thank you very much.